Welcome back to Corvette Weekly, everybody. As you can see, we're down one of our Vet Syndicate members. We're down to two here. It's just me and Steve for today. Jason is on vacation. So wish Jason a happy vacation. He is in North Carolina, from what I understand. I am sick. So if you guys can hear my voice and it sounds like I'm sick, it's because I'm sick. But I was not going to cancel this show because I don't care if I'm sick. If I'm not dead, I'm going to be here on this show. So I want to try to stick to the Monday nights at 7:30 no matter what. And you guys get me even in my my sickest of states. But we're here. We're going to be talking a lot of news and specifically the ZR1. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with the ZR1. And yes, we have a very awesome giveaway coming tonight, says Protective Dad Pranks. Yeah, look at that.
Oh. There you go. I forgot so my name did that.
Yeah.
Stupid.
All right, Matt Hurley's in the house. We had a message up here from 2020 Matrix 8, Jeremy. We actually almost had him on the show tonight because we're going to kind of try to switch something up here in the future. And I think we're going to start inviting a special subscriber onto the show every Monday night. Or, I'm sorry, once a month on a Monday Night Live. So we're going to have a special subscriber come in and tell us about their car, about how they feel about the show, how they found us, all that good stuff. So in the future, watch out for those kind of requests, because this one, in Jeremy's defense, we only gave him like a 4-hour notice. So I kind of figured something like that wasn't going to happen. Plus, Jeremy is on his road trip to go pick up his C8 Z06 here very soon. I think in 3 days he's going to have it, which is really awesome. Yeah, he says he's on the road. Otherwise, he would have had less than an hour to go. Yeah. So, again, guys, let me know what your thoughts are about that. Would you guys be interested in jumping on the channel if we had one once a month, just kind of featuring a subscriber, their cars, their story? We could feature somebody like Matt Hurley 30 times because he's got so many different cars, you know. So it's not even just necessarily a one-time and done type thing. If you have cool cars, if you have a cool story, I feel like it would be interesting to hear from, you know, put a face to the name, so to speak. So, oh, here's another really cool situation. So Ryan says, Justin, I officially purchased the C7 Z06 from Adam. Thanks again for putting me in contact with him. I'm officially part of the Corvette community now, not just a sad face looking in from the outside. So, guys, I was on the track with AWE with my C8 Z06, and I was talking to Adam, or Adam and Ryan both, and Ryan was telling me a deal fell through with a C7 Z06 he was looking at. And I was like, hold on a second. I know somebody who's selling one. So another one of my subscribers had reached out to me and said he was selling this car. So I hooked him and Ryan up, and Ryan, sure enough, he bought the car. So how awesome is that? That is exactly why the Corvette community is so amazing. I mean, those things just came together. It was literally maybe 5 minutes of texting, and bam, it was done.
Cool.
General Lee, Matt Hurley, Nightfall, 2020 Matrix 8, Drew, Carrie Glock. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in, guys. As usual, we appreciate the support. Like I said, we are down a guy today because he's on vacation. But seriously, though, he's probably going to be in the chat if I had to guess. What am I hearing? Oh, yeah. And, of course, we also have Darren in the house, Darren Burnett.
Oh, he's nice.
Ryan says, yes, Justin helped make my dream come true. I'm so grateful. No, not a problem at all. Not a problem at all, Ryan. Like I said, it is the beauty of the Corvette community is what made that happen. Hanging with Shane. Shane's in the house. How you doing, Shane? I think we missed you last week, if I remember correctly.
Jason's in the house.
Jason is in the house. I told you guys he'd be on. See, dedicated when he's on vacation.
I got my Jason shirt on tonight. I'm solidarity with Jason's yellow. There you go.
These two are inseparable, guys. I'm not even sure where Jason ends and Steve begins anymore. So, what did Jason say here? Pulling a Matt Hurley here on vacation. Yeah, that's awesome though, guys. Like I love the fact that this thing has become such a thing that you guys are actually looking forward to it every Monday night. You know it's coming. This is why, even though I'm sick, I didn't want to change. I didn't want to cancel today. I wanted it to stay the same date, same time, because I want you guys to know it's every Monday night, 7:30. It doesn't matter what else is going on. That's when it's going to be. So I've already kind of clued Steve in. If something happens and I go into a ridiculous coughing fit, I'm going to just flip over to his screen and let him talk about something for a little while, because that is very likely to happen.
With limits.
Yeah, with limits, of course. I said anything car related. Car related. Because as soon as I said that, he's like, okay, I'm going to talk about Trump. I'm like, no, car related. All right, so anyway, guys, let's talk about the giveaway real quick before we get into anything else, because we got a lot of information to talk about tonight. Actually, let's smash that thumbs up button. Let's start with that. Hit the thumbs up. Let's hit 100 thumbs ups by 8 o'clock again, guys. It really helps the channel whenever we do this. So if you can, please smash the thumbs up button. But let's talk about the giveaway tonight, because the giveaway is going to be really awesome. It is from our great friends from Race Ramps. You guys know Race Ramps. I think it was BPR Z06 won the big set of Race Ramps last time we gave those away. This time it's not for the full ramp. It's actually for what they call flat stoppers. So these things will actually go underneath the tires of your car when you have to park it for a long period of time, and it will stop your tires from developing flat spots. So typically these things are around $300, and I'll actually show you in a second here what they look like.
And with winter coming, you need these.
Yeah, so this is what you're gonna kind of get with these things, and you can see they're about $300. All they do, like I said, you just park your car on it, and the material that they're made out of will not allow your tires to develop flat spots. And that's a big thing. If you leave your car parked for more than 30 days, flat spots are a real problem, especially if you have tires, high performance tires like the Sport Cup 2Rs, the Sport Cup 2s, the Michelin Pilot Super Sports, the Sport 4Ss. Those are tires you're going to want to put on this all the time. So if, like I said, if the car sits for more than 30 days, and us up here in the northern part of the U.S., we get to have that, our cars sit for a while. And actually, you know what? Even Steve here, his car sits for more than 30 days at a time sometimes.
Even in the summer.
Even in the summer, yeah. So he should be on flat stoppers all the time.
Well, you know what those are also good for? If you have a garage that you're worried about hitting the wall, if you affix them to the ground, like glue them or whatever, they're like a stopper. So you can pull your car, boom, you already know, don't go any farther.
That is a good idea. I never thought about doing that. That's a really good idea. I might have to do that.
They're nice.
He's back in his garage. It must not be 120.
Not just a hat rack.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I was beginning to wonder. No, I'm just joking. All right. So Miata Vitamins says that he's super excited. His E-Ray is on the way.
Ooh.
That's pretty awesome. Congratulations. Did you get a Target production week yet? I'm assuming it's probably December. From what I've seen, a lot of Target production weeks for E-Rays are in December. Or, December. Steven Risha says, I have them. I use them every winter. So anyway, guys, the giveaway is the flat stoppers, and it is something you should have on your car if it sits for more than 30 days at a time. They're worth $300. That's about what we need to make on this. So we can start the donations. We're actually going to start it off with Glass City Car Nerd, because he already sent one. So believe it or not, he sent one before we even started. He sent $50 right off the bat. I mean, this is how you know that we have some people that have some faith in us. He says, hey guys, question. If you would give up a Z06 for a ZR1 C8.
Yes.
That is a good question. And honestly, it's not, for me, it's not a simple yes or no. And until I know a little bit more about it, I need to know, number one, what engine is it's going to actually have, which we're going to talk a little bit about some speculations here in a second. But my big thing is I've grown so accustomed now to the Z06 flat plane crank, it would be hard to go away from that. Now, With that said, this ZR1 is rumored to have a ridiculous amount of horsepower, so that would help ease my burden. But at the same time, I don't know. It really depends on the engine, and it depends on price. Because the Z06 is already pushing it pretty hard into $200,000 territory. The ZR1 is going to push it well into $250,000. At what point do you say
you want to have the C7 and the C8 ZR1 parked by each other? I mean,
I
that's
definitely
the
do.
garage.
I
That's the
definitely do.
garage.
There's no doubt about that. But at what cost? If I'm living out of the C8 ZR1, I could probably do it. But I'd literally have to sell the house. I mean, the Z06 was already like right to my absolute max.
Yeah.
Daryl, it is not an LT6 turbocharged. So we've already seen a bunch of different sound clips of the car over at the Nürburgring. No doubt in my mind, it is not a flat plane crack. Dr. Corvette says, what are we giving away? Dr. Corvette, we are actually giving away flat stoppers from race ramps. So if you have a car that sits for more than 30 days, which I know you do. I know you do. Same kind of thing, guys. Every $10 will get you a donation or get you an entry. Every $100 will get you double entries if you made it through Venmo, which is pinned at the top of the chat. So go ahead and get your donations in. We got to get at least 300 in here before we would give these things away tonight. If not, they'll be given away next Monday night.
And you get 4 of those, right?
Yeah, you get 4 of them. So all 4 tires are protected from flat stops or flat spots.
Great. I need to get those.
If it keeps the frunk, odds are good it's going to keep the frunk too. So there's a lot of random weird rumors floating around out there that I don't know how they got started. One of them is that the ZR1 is going to lose the frunk, and it's not. GM has already kind of talked about the fact, I can't remember, I'm going to have to try to find the video, where they actually mentioned that the frunk was never going to disappear. This is something that is, they're built the car around the fact that it has usable storage. That frunk is never going away. Will it be resized? That's a possibility, but it's never going to disappear. So even though the ZR1 with the ZTK package looks like it doesn't have a radiator in the front for air to come through and up over that hood to push the front end down, it's still just going to be, at most, a resized frunk. It's not going to disappear. General Lee, we got you in for 2 entries on that. He says, I might need those ramps really soon. Yeah. Wintertime is coming up so much faster than it did last year, it feels like. It's just like, one day it was 70 degrees here, the next day it's 30. And I'm like, what happened? Dr. Corvette is in for 100. Dr. Corvette is in for 100. So
20.
He gets 20 entries on those. Thank you, guys. Let's see what else we got here. Ryan, who just bought his C7 Z06 because I hooked him up with one of my other subscribers, says, mostly as a thank you, also for the giveaway. He donates $100.
Wow. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep, thank you, Ryan. I'm happy to help out. Like I said, guys, I hooked up Ryan with his car. I hooked up Jeremy, 2020 Matrix 8, with his car. Actually, that was a combination of me and Dr. Corvette, but ultimately, that's what this whole thing is about. This community that we're building, we're here to help each other. So there's no fighting, no random flexing weirdness. Like we're here to help each other. That's all there is to it. If I can help you get into a car that you want to get into, I'm going to do whatever I can to help make that happen. We have to hit 100 likes by 7:45. Did we do it? Did we do it? Let's see. It's past 7:45.
I need to like.
What?
I said I need to like it. I'm here on it. Like, click. Do this. Thumbs up.
We did. We're at 104. Cool. That is pretty cool, guys. So let's see what else we got here. We got a little bit of news to talk about. Like I said, guys, one of the big things we're going to talk about is the C8 ZR1, but also the ERAY. If you guys haven't noticed, this past Friday, which was oddly enough Friday the 13th, that was the day that the embargo lifted for the reviews on the ERAY. So a bunch of people out there have already driven it, already reviewed it, already experienced it, but Chevy didn't want anything leaking out onto the internet until Friday the 13th. of all days. That's when they chose to do it. But now there is a whole bunch of reviews out there. And I know I've asked a million times on here, but there's something about that car that really just doesn't do it for me. And I know a lot of you guys, you do like it, but at the same time, it's more of a, you're more interested in the Z06 or the ZR1 than the E-Ray. And I'm noticing the same thing. The videos that are doing the video, or the YouTubers that are doing the video reviews, they're not getting the views on the E-Rays like they did when the Z06 was coming out. So I have to assume that the majority of people out there are not as interested in the E-Ray as they were the Z06 or the upcoming ZR1. 117 thumbs ups currently. That's pretty good. Jeff, I watched Eddie X's. I really like Eddie X. I think he does a really good job of keeping the reviews non-biased and stuff like that. I also really liked Jay Leno's. His was a really long one. It was like 40 some minutes long, but I was really impressed with the amount of information that video had in it. And I think it was mostly because Taj was in the car with him. I mean, just pure Corvette information. It was a fantastic video. Luke says YouTuber reviewers are liars. That's not 100% true. Maybe everybody else, but not me. I actually had a problem with
maybe the ones that get the car.
Yeah.
You know, get it and say, okay, we're going to give it to you. Because
I did a review on something on my ZR1 that didn't do what it said it was supposed to do. And the person pushed me to release the video anyway. And I did. That. And I just caught a massive amount of flack for it. The company that gave me the product didn't do what it said it was supposed to do. So I made a review talking about the fact that it didn't do the thing that they said it was supposed to do. And I would imagine I probably hurt their sales. That was never my intention. I don't like doing that kind of stuff, but the company pushed me to release it anyway. So I did, and it hurt them. And that's one of the things, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt a company because they did something, maybe put out a product that wasn't perfected yet, whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying, if a product is not good and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, I'm not going to lie to you guys about it. I'm going to tell you it wasn't good. Or I won't put out the video at all and just never talk about that product. I don't really want to bash a company, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell you guys to go buy it if it's no good.
Unless you're like Jason, who has it out for Chase Bank right now.
Yeah. Tyler says that he would much rather have a Z06 if he had to pick. I think that's the majority of everybody. I think everybody would rather have the Z06, but the Z06 is super hard to get, so maybe I'll just get an E-Ray because it's close enough. And that's kind of the mentality I'm getting from almost everybody I talk to about this car. Paul, I did not see Amelia's video. I don't usually watch her. There's just something about it I don't like. I'm not going to get too much into that, but
her voice.
Best description I've heard of the electric motor sound on the E-Ray was the Tron light cycle. Yeah, the sound is actually kind of cool. Like, I was not expecting it to be as cool as it was. Whenever they hit the gas and it came on, it does sound a lot like the Tron light cycle sound on the movie. C3 guy says, your right to an opinion doesn't end with their emotional instability. I guess. Mark Cutsy said, I dropped her the day she dropped the Z06. You know what's funny is that when she said she had to sell the Z06, she had the camera on her face and she's like, I have to sell it. And then the reason she gave for having to sell it was such a BS reason that I was like, she either has an E-Ray coming or she's going to be talking about the ZR1 soon. Because the way she's like, it's just too perfect. I can't do anything to it. It's too perfect. And I'm like, no. That is the biggest cop-out I've ever heard in my life. It is a good car, but it's far from perfect.
No.
Darren Burnett says, no interest in the E-Ray, but I am glad Corvette continues to engineer and build a variety of different platforms. It's exactly how I feel about it. I don't have any interest in it. That doesn't mean that I'm mad that it exists. I'm glad that it exists. I want everybody to be able to get what it is that they want. And if the E-Ray is the thing for you, then great. 11-second clip says, and then she's looking to get another car. She's lying. Yeah, of course she is. The problem is that, you know, a lot of people do this kind of stuff, and it's weird. Like, I don't even know how to really put it into words. People are basically professional liars, and YouTube does have a fair amount of those kind of people.
Yep.
Well, Amelia wants a ZR1, I think. She did a review of a press E-Ray. How is she going to mod it with the E-motor? There is still mods you could do with the E-Ray, because the engine in it's the same as the Stingray. The gas-powered engine part, you could mod pretty well. The electric motor, probably not going to be much for that, outside of, you know, assuming somebody doesn't hack into whatever electronic computer controls it. But you could always mod the gas-powered version and give it another couple ponies without doing anything super crazy. Michael says the LT7 could be a cross-plane crank with 5.5 liter with twin turbos. I'm still pretty sure that is going to be a modified 6.2 liter with twin turbos. It's definitely going to be twin turbocharged. The way that those air scoops are set up on the shoulders of the car, no doubt in my mind, those are there for turbos. So that is definitely a twin turbocharged car. What engine it's going to have, it is not going to be a flat plane crank. There's no way. The sound of that thing over on the Nürburgring, nothing like a Z06. And I've gotten a million messages about this where people were like, well, the sound's being muffled by the pipes that GM put on. It was muffled on the Z06 too. You can clearly tell that is not a flat plane crank. I can close the valves on my Z06, and the second I start that car, you can tell that's a flat plane crank engine. It doesn't matter if the valves are open, closed, if there's pipes directing the sound to the ground, which they did with the C7 ZR1 as well, and it did not change the sound of the engine. It just directed it away from the person who is monitoring the decibels on the track. Because if they go over a certain decibel, they have to get off the track. So GM just puts on these pipes that makes it so it angles the sound away, so that isn't as loud to that person registering the sound. The sound's the same, though. It's just not directed at them. Hopefully that came through correctly, because look, like I said, at this point I would put money on the fact that is not a flat plane crank. I have not heard any inside whisperings of what this engine is either. I heard one person talking about a larger displacement engine, but they had said that was rumored for a Grand Sport. And at this point, I know it's very unlikely we're getting a Grand Sport as well. But I heard something as large as a 7.7 liter, which makes no sense at all in a car like this. If I had to guess, the displacement will be a 6.2, or it will go the opposite way and drop all the way down to a 4.0 with twin turbos. But I don't love that idea, so I'm assuming they're going to stick with a 6.2. Daryl, yes, turbos do make the sound of the engine quieter. They'll quiet down the exhaust to some degree, not anything crazy, but it does act as a baffle in between the exhaust. Yeah, Ever Jeff says, what a coincidence, we just went over 130 thumbs ups, and that's the decibel limit at the Nürburgring. That's pretty funny. That's very possible. Mr. T says Cadillac Blackwing CT6 twin turbo 4.2 liter punched out to over 5 liters. That is possible, because a long time ago, and I'd have to dig to find this, but I made a video a long time ago talking about an engine that GM was going to use in the C8, and we talked a lot about the Blackwing engine, because it wouldn't be an unheard of thing for these engines to be shared inside of GM to some degree. John donates $20. Thank you, John. You get entered twice for the giveaway for today, which, if you guys are just now tuning in, the giveaway is going to be the flat stoppers from Race Ramps. So if you're interested in protecting your car over the winter months, this will stop your tires from getting any kind of flat spots. Every $10 donated is an entry. If you donate $100 to the Venmo account, you get double entries. So $100 will get you 20 entries to win these things. We got 134 thumbs ups currently. That's pretty good. We're not even at 8 o'clock yet, guys. Let's keep it rolling. Keep rolling with the thumbs ups. Let's do it. Smash the thumbs up, guys. It really helps.
We have 237 people watching right now.
237 people watching right now, guys. We could easily match that with the thumbs ups. It would be really cool. Scarface of Crypto says I would still pick the Stingray over the E-Ray. Honestly, if I was choosing between those two, I probably would as well. There's just something to me. There's nothing special about the E-Ray. That's the one thing that gets. I mean, that's just my opinion, of course, but I don't know.
It's for people that can't afford a Z06.
No, I wouldn't say.
I'm totally not kidding, because we're gonna go into that hot topic later.
Yeah, so guys, our hot topic later tonight's gonna have a lot to do with what he just said, but I would say it's for the people that can't get a Z06. I think that's exactly what it is.
Every Corvette has its place, and people should buy the car that they want, and the other people should just be happy they have the car.
There it is.
Like, I don't care. I get excited for a C5 Corvette. I love a C5.
Yeah.
I will go look at a C5 when there's tons of C8s around. I just love a C5.
I have a C6 Z06, a C7 ZR1, C8 Z06. The only car that I haven't personally actually driven that I really want is a C5 Z06. I think the C5s are one of the nicest generations. They're one of the lightest weights, and there's so much aftermarket out there. You can build those things up to be faster than most of the cars nowadays for half the price.
Oh yeah, they're great. Excited.
Corey Payne's in the house. Look at that. So guys, we got the better half of Paragon Performance. No, I don't know. Thanks for tuning in, Corey. We appreciate your support. We got another donation from Miriam Peterson for the next giveaway for the flat stoppers. Thanks. So we got $20. So two entries there.
And I got Tyler also.
Yeah, so guys, join me in congratulating 2020 Matrix 8, Jeremy. He's going to be picking up his C8 Corvette Z06 in 3 days. He's picking it up from the Corvette Museum. So we should know here soon, Jeremy, if you could let me or Steve know what camera you're on so we can kind of broadcast it out to everybody else so they can watch you pick up your car. You have possibly one of the nicest spec Z06s I've seen yet. I haven't seen it, but, you know.
I don't think there's anything else he can order.
No, I was just going to say, like, he went through the book. He said, just do everything.
Select all. He even got the wheels.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he got everything. So big congratulations to Jeremy. He got an awesome car. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, definitely let me know what camera it's on, because I think that'd be pretty cool. L Xaber says, L Zaber, I don't know. E-Ray equals fire ray. I've heard this a bunch recently, guys, by the way. I've been hearing a lot of talk about this. It must be because the E-Ray's close. I've been seeing all kinds of things popping up online talking about insurance companies declining insurance claims if the car is a hybrid or a fully electric, like a Tesla lithium-ion stuff. Like, they're literally declining protection or telling you can't park the car in the garage at your house for homeowners insurance reasons. Like, this is a pretty serious issue.
Well, now that the embargo is done, and I literally have not watched anything on E-Ray because it just doesn't interest me. What was the general consensus of these people that you think I better probably tell them the truth?
The one that I watched a good bit of was, I can't remember his name. It's Toph or something. He does like a point of view driving of the car, and that's where you could really hear that sound effect the best. And the way he was getting into the car, he flat out said, there's something about the braking system on the car that doesn't feel right. And I remember hearing somebody say something about that before a while ago about the E-Ray, because it has that regenerative braking or whatever. Regenerative braking. And because of that, something with the brakes is off. I don't know if it's something that they can fix or whatever, but I heard that. I also heard that the power of the car feels pretty good, but I haven't seen anybody doing anything crazy like track racing or drag strip or anything. So that's where we'll start to see where this car is really going to sit. Randall Swanson donates $20, so he gets 2 entries. He says, "Congratulations, Jeremy." Yeah, there it is. 3LZ Z07 package, carbon fiber wheels, adrenaline red dipped level 2 interior, exposed carbon aero. Car is black, stealth PPF. MSRP was $188 with tax. Good God.
Wow.
Do we still think the ZR1 and then the Zora, or is this car the last C8 model? No, the Zora is definitely going to be a thing. And this car is, I was iffy on whether or not the ZR1 nameplate would make a return. And technically we still don't know for sure, but a lot of the things that they're doing with this car are leading me to believe more and more that it is going to be a ZR1. The way that they're going with this car right now, if some of the rumors are true, it's either going to be a 6.2 liter twin turbocharged engine or possibly a 7+ liter twin turbocharged engine that's going to be around 800 to 850 horsepower. If that is the case, then what makes a Zora is a no-brainer. You take that same engine and you slap the hybrid motor on the front, you're easily over 1,000 horsepower at that point. And that's where the rumors have said we were going to be from the very beginning. So I do believe both cars are still coming at this point, and I think that would be an easy way for them to upsell the Zora. I do think the Zora is going to be insanely priced, and I also think it's going to be a semi-limited production. No, I don't think Zora's going to be a flat plane either. There's not any real reason to do that. For them to hit 1,000 horsepower in this car, they would have to work pretty hard to take the 670 horsepower engine out of the Z06 and add a hybrid motor to it to equal the extra 330 horsepower. It would be too hard versus just using the engine that's coming in with the Z06 as well. Yes, they do compensate for displacement, which is why I'm thinking it could go the opposite way. It's either there's going to be a 6.2 liter, a 7+ liter, or it's going to be a 4 liter. I could see GM going the smaller displacement with bigger turbos to also help with EPA rated stuff, because Chevy's had quite a bit of a problem with EPA recently because of the Z06. John, we did too. He says, I enjoyed the Jay Leno and Tad's review and drive of the E-Ray. It was really, really a good video. I appreciated how much information was crammed into that, even though it was a 40-minute long video. We did get a donation from Matt Hurley. I don't know how I missed that. Matt Hurley gave us 125. Did I tell you that already?
Nope.
Okay, Matt Hurley gave 125. He says, I will feel guilty if I win 3 weeks in a row. Always supporting, though, yeah. That would be weird. Did I tell you 2020 Matrix 8?
No.
Okay, he gave $100. Man, my brain is like, I'm sick. It's that simple. He gave $100, so he gets 20 entries as well. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Matt Hurley. You guys are awesome.
It's going tonight for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely going tonight, guys. So you brought it to the cusp of giveaway. Steven Rapp says, Justin, beyond Zora, where will we be going from that point? Any ideas? Zora will be the last model. After that, you're just going to get your typical special editions that GM usually does. You know, like, I can't remember the one that they did for the C7 was an orange car that they only released over in Europe. It was like called the Final Edition or something. They do a lot of that kind of stuff, but other than that, Zora is going to be the last model that does anything special for performance. Everything else from there would just be, you know, special colors, special editions, whatever. No, I don't think so, Jason. I think it's just more so lack of sleep. I feel really, really run down. It's not COVID, but I could be.
It's called
sleeping.
Amber.
Yeah, that too. That doesn't help.
Amber's riding your behind. Hey,
King Ramella says, "What's the giveaway again? Can you show them
around.
again?" Yeah, the giveaway today is the flat stoppers. So you park your car in this. If it's going to be sitting for more than 30 days, it stops the tires from developing flat spots, which is really an important thing for performance tires like the Sport Cup 2s or like the 4Ss or even the All Seasons you have. They're more performance oriented tires. These will... I have had flat spots on my Sport Cup 2s before, and it sucks. They are... You can clearly feel them, and they're not great. Daryl says, when do you think the C9 will come out? And, well, honestly, the C9, 2030, 2032. One of those two. Dana says, only Venmo. So, no, Dana, you can do Super Chat, but Venmo gives you 20 times entries.
Yeah, the C9 is going to be a questionable car. Depending on politics. Let's leave it at that. I won't go any farther. That's just going to determine what that engine is going to be. And if you know, you know. Next, that's car related.
Brent, I think that's a little quicker than what will really be. I think we're looking at 2030 at the earliest. GM put a lot of time and money into developing the C8 platform. So I know the platform is going to be around for quite some time. The C9 will likely be built on the same platform. Similar to how like the C6 and the C7 share a lot of architecture, the C9 will with the C8 as well. But I don't think we're going to see that before 2030. Especially since one of the pieces of news tonight is talking about something that we talked about on this channel once already, and it is the fact that the Bowling Green plant is having trouble getting parts. So we talked about the fact that the Bowling Green plant hasn't been directly affected by the strike, but they were going to be because they weren't going to be able to get parts soon. And sure enough, it's happening now. So Bowling Green is experiencing parts issues, and the big part they're experiencing issues with is part of the frame of the car. So you can't build these things for sure without a frame. So there is nothing to build if they can't get these things. And as of now, they have a shortage of these things currently. And they're referring to it as a temporary parts supply issue. But ultimately, it's a giant part of the frame of the car. They can't get it. They can't build these cars. It's not like they can build it, let it sit somewhere while they wait for the part to come in. They can't build this thing without the frame. So this is going to be a problem for a lot of any of you guys out there waiting for these cars. This could possibly affect you depending on how fast this comes through, because like I said, you can't build these things without the frames. Great White North Corvette. That's a really good question. I don't think so. Maybe on the Zora, but that includes such a gigantic price markup that most people aren't willing to really put it out. I don't know if you saw on like the Mustang GT 500, if you did paint it on stripes, the additional cost was like 10 grand, which is really a lot of money for that. John, they're not on strike. That's the thing. Is the strike in general, they're trying to strangle some of the people that aren't on strike. They're trying to bottleneck their supply issues, so they have no choice but to strike, so to speak. So that's ultimately what's happening there. They're putting a hurting on their parts supplier. So, and in turn, that's going to make it so they can't really do their jobs either. Yeah, it was 10K for the stripes on the GT500. And I could see them doing something like that with the Zora model, maybe, because the Zora is going to be so expensive. The ZR1 is probably going to max out around 230, 220, 230. The Zora, if I had to guess, 300K. And I mean, if they also make it a semi-rare or a semi-short run, the price is going to go up even more. And because it has the name Zora on it, it's going to be the first of any Corvette named something like that. It's going to be a big deal. Corvette Driver says, is the ZR1 C8 going to be better than the Z06 C8 on racetracks? Probably to some degree. The big thing is with these kind of cars is that typically naturally aspirated cars are better on racetracks than turbo or supercharged cars. It depends on the track, of course, but Usually that's the case because there's less heat involved. One of the biggest things I noticed right off the bat driving the C8 Z06 over my C7 ZR1 is operating temperatures are by far ridiculously lower than they are on my C7. And that's because that big supercharger up on top of the engine, it literally insulates the heat and pushes it all down into the block. That car deals with a lot of heat, whereas the C8 Z06, it runs so cool. I was blown away, and you guys will see this in a video coming up here soon. When I had that car on the track, I was pushing it, and I was looking at the engine temperatures, and my oil temp was at 140 or something, and I was like, how is this possible? It was like a 75-degree day. I was pushing that car as hard as I could. The highest I ever saw the oil temperature get was 170, and it doesn't even become a problem until it cracks 200. So I'm like, this car is just incredibly cool. Pun intended.
Is that the car of the week or just the car you threw down there?
Oh, that is the car of the week, and I meant to mention that. I always forget this. So the car of the week, guys, you can see it is a Ron Fellows red C8 Z06. That's actually a subscriber, Larry Anthony, is driving that. It's hard to see in the picture.
Oh, nice.
But let me pull it up on screen here for you so I can get it a little bit bigger. That is Larry Anthony. And I thought it'd be pretty cool to see him as the car of the week this week. But let's see, where's it at here? Right there. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is Larry Anthony standing outside of the car. Check that out, guys. He's over at Ron Fellows. I think he just got back today. Isn't that cool? And then the other picture there, the one that I'm actually using as the car of the week, is also, that's also him driving. You can kind of see it better whenever it's blown up like that. That's him in there. So they'll take pictures of your car like this at the track and send them to you if you want them. But I thought that was pretty cool. So, yeah. Let's see. What else we got? So we discussed the fact that the embargoes on the ERAY are done. You're going to start seeing a lot of reviews and everything about that. The ZR1 is very likely to not be a flat plane crank engine. It's likely to be a 6.2 or a 7+ liter engine with twin turbochargers. Very similar aero to the Z06 from what I can tell, unless they just haven't really changed much up yet. Other than the gigantic wing on the back for the ZTK package car, it's going to be pretty much similar to what we have now. There is a rumor flying around out there that there is a bigger diffuser that's going to come for the ZR1 that we haven't seen yet. I could see that being the case because if you guys remember a couple months ago, there was a Z06 driving around that had no camo on it at all. But the only thing that did have camo on it was the rear diffuser. And everybody was like, why would they be doing that? Unless they plan on changing up the diffuser for the ZR1 later. So it's very possible. Shane says we got 171 thumbs up currently. You guys, that'd be really awesome if we could hit 200 by 8:30, which is only 13 minutes from now. That's not too bad. Got 29 to go in 13 minutes. It'd be really awesome if you could do that for us, guys. Smash the thumbs up. Really helps the channel. Really helps these giveaways. We try to have something cool to give away every week. Corvette guy says, I can't see a 7-liter and twin spoolie boys. GM will go with lower displacement for efficiency. I'm thinking the same. The only reason I thought maybe 7+ liters because I heard a rumor very early on that GM had it was either a 7.3 or 7.7 liter engine that they were planning on putting in the C8 at some point. And I think that large of displacement with twin turbos would be pointless. It would be it'd be stupid. I agree. But that's the only reason I thought that was because I heard that rumor early on. But the more I talk about it, the more I'm pretty certain it's going to be a 6.2 reworked out of the Stingray, or possibly something even lower like a 4-liter. McLaren does something like that too. They have a 4-liter twin turbo engine, and it works well for them, aside from catching fire and stuff all the time. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but you know. Yeah, guys, let's get to the 200 mark. It would really help. Like I said, it's great. Do we have any more giveaway or any more entries into the giveaway. We are going to give that away tonight, guys. So if you're interested in the flat stoppers, throw a donation up. Every $10 gets you an entry. No more entries on Venmo. So let us know, guys, if you're interested.
Let's get into the hot topic.
Yeah, let's do that. Why don't you start us off with the hot topics, Steve?
Well, do we think they all look the same? And there's not enough changes. I actually think there's not enough changes in this car compared to the C7. When you look at the base model Stingray C7 versus the C7 Z06, yeah, there's a wider body and you got the vent. I just feel like the real change on the C8 is just like the boomerang on the side. It's wider, but like Jason was he'd agree with this. We were sitting at a car show one time and we're looking at all these C8s, and there was a black C8 Z06 sitting right there, and it didn't stand out to us like there was any difference. I mean, we saw them all, and we're like, and I've been to meetups where there's the Z06 was a month out, sitting by itself, and no one was looking at it. It was weird. We had 200 cars. It was by itself, and there was nobody staring. It was crazy. So I don't know. I do think the ZR1 is going to be significantly different.
So I had a feeling we were gonna have difference of opinions on this. So the hot topic for tonight,
I'm talking looks.
Yeah,
Not,
I am too. The hot topic for tonight is, I've heard a lot of people saying this about the C8 Corvette, the Stingray, the Z06, and the E-Ray. Basically, none of them, the Z06 and the E-Ray aren't doing enough to separate themselves physically from the Stingray. I personally think that's crazy, because I think the Z06 looks massively different than the Stingray. Now, you can clearly see it's the same generation. It's the same frame. It's the same car for the most part. But especially side by side, they are very different looking cars. The Z06 is much wider. The front bumper is much more opened up. It looks much more performance oriented. The side boomerangs, they are different shaped, like Steve said, and they're also a lot wider. The rear end is a lot wider. The car in general is wider. The wheels are bigger. They're wider. I don't know. I'm kind of, yeah, and I was going to say, King Romello was actually at my house the other day looking at the Z06, and he said that he would have to disagree with Protective Dad Pranks because the Z06 is nasty looking. And I think the same thing. If both of them are sitting side by side, I can tell in a millisecond which one's which.
I can only tell because of the, what's very easy for the C7 was the vent scoop, which Grand Sport had that well, but the taillights, what to me gave it away. The rear taillights. But the C8, I've literally been on the highway and like, oh, that's a Z06. Like, it didn't boldly go, that's a Z06. Like, I don't know. I mean, I still think it's the best of all the generations. I still think that's the best one out of the, if I could afford it, I'd be up a Z06. I'm just not going to have a house payment. So, yeah. I mean,
mine's actually more than
I pay $600 a month for that. That's, to me, is an insane car payment for a car that's 80 grand. So, I'm not complaining. I know yours is that plus $2,000.
Yeah, it's up there. What about our posters? Justin says, front seat driver. I haven't actually heard back from that guy. I need to text him again to see. I still wanted to get a couple of those made, but stay tuned. Let's see.
I agree. Color does have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it does. Stephen Rapp says, what happened to Corvette brand crossover or whatever? Does E-Ray fill that gap? Do a poll on how many are getting an E-Ray. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, so I'm going to start a poll. I'm going to ask you if you guys are getting an E-Ray. Don't say yes to this unless you're actually literally buying one. Don't say yes like you hope to get one someday. Just say yes if you're actually like getting one as we speak. Interested in an E-Ray. I don't know how I want to ask this question. Are you going to buy an E-Ray? Yeah. Are you going to buy an E-Ray? Yes or no? Like I said, don't say yes to this unless you're literally going to buy one. We got a Venmo for $30 from Dana.
Okay.
So he gets 3 chances to win. Stephen Rapp donates $50.
Got it.
He says Venmo is still on his list of things to do. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Dana. John Perkins is in for the poster. I remember him telling me that at the museum. So we got at least one guy that would buy that weird poster.
Yeah.
Jack says, what do you think of a 5.5 liter with cross-plane lowered compression and 2 turbos? I don't see the point. I don't see GM doing that at all. Unless it is a modified 6.2 liter that they brought down to a 5.5 liter. That would be the only way that would make any sense. Because them taking the 5.5 liter out of the Z06, stripping it down and making it a cross-plane crank instead of a flat-plane crank, that's just way too much work. Way too much work. So if they take the 6.2 out of the Stingray, modify it, lower it to a 5.5 or even lower displacement, build some of the lower end internals to withstand the extra compression and the extra horsepower, that's possible. I could see that happening. Okay, so Stephen Rapp says he's got a place for the poster as well. We're gonna have to do this. I'm gonna get on that this week. We'll have an answer for you guys next week. Yeah, correct. There's no point. Jason says if an E-Ray allocation comes up first, I will, but will sell when the Z06 allocation comes up. So this is exactly the mentality I've seen with most people that are interested in an E-Ray. They're really only interested in an E-Ray as a placeholder for the Z06. And I kind of feel like that's where I would be with it too. Like if I couldn't get a Z06, I'll take the next best. I'll take the E-Ray. But again, that's not necessarily my way of saying, that the car shouldn't exist. I don't think that's the case at all. I love the fact that GM is doing this kind of stuff, but
The interest rates were so bad.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Dr. Corvette says that he'd take 10 posters at $10 a piece. He's in here freaking negotiating. We got it, Dana. I got it. You're on the list.
I got do you have a Venmo from Darren Burnett?
Yes, $30. Wow, that's
Okay.
weird. So Darren Burnett gets 3 chances.
Got it.
Guys, we're getting close to the end, so if you could please smash the thumbs up button, it really helps. We're also going to be making the drawing here pretty soon, so get your last minute entries in. You want to win these flat stoppers. It's getting to be that time of year. You're definitely going to want them.
What's your Venmo address again? We got people asking.
It's just horsepower obsessed, all one word. It's pinned at the top of the chat. If you go all the way up to the top, you just click a link. It will take you right to the payment page. BPM Motorsport Channel says, "Hey, I want to get a shirt. How do I do that?" I'm gonna post. I will post the link right in the chat here for you. If you want to just go to the website, you can buy any one of the shirts right from there.
Or anything else you want to buy on there.
Yep, there's all kinds of stuff. So there's the link right there, BPM. If you go to that website, you can buy whatever you would like to do. Anything you buy from there really greatly helps support the channel. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, guys, thank you all for the Venmos. Jason's thanking you as well, and he's not even in the same state. Although I guess that's normally the case.
I bet he doesn't have his tooth in.
We got 193 thumbs ups currently. It's pretty cool, guys. We could hit, let's hit 200. Let's do that. Smash the thumbs up. Really helps the channel. Let me think. Oh, there's one other real quick bit of news I wanted to cover here. And it's because one of us on this screen right now is famous. Check this out.
Oh,
Over at the Corvette Blogger. Look at that. The car that they use to show off the ACS composite parts. Whose car does that look like, guys? Whose car does that look like?
baby.
Is
Right
it that
there.
one? It's that one sitting right behind him.
Right
Check that out.
there.
How awesome is that? So he's famous. Look, you go to the Corvette Blogger and you see his car, or you come here on the Corvette Weekly and you see his car. How
I
awesome
didn't
is
even know that until Justin sent that to me.
Yeah. I sent it to him. I was like, hey, check this car out. It's kind of nice, right?
And it's a base model Stingray.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, Jason said his tooth is not in. Jay Clones, I don't know that I heard him say that they were using a small fraction of the battery. I thought he said specifically that the battery that was in it was very small because it wasn't really meant for driving long periods of time on just battery charge. It's mostly there for performance. That's what I heard, is that he said that the battery was small, not that they were using a small percentage of it. Show the exhaust of which car, Luke? Which car do
C3
you want to
guys.
see the exhaust?
No. And we'll do it from here. It'd be too dark. Maybe yours. Speaking of, I haven't seen yours.
I can't show it yet. I'm under embargo
It's an
until the end of the
embargo.
month.
It's an embargo.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to show it until the end of the month. So even the video I have coming up soon, I get to show the car and a little bit of the sound, but not much of anything else. King Ramilla sent Venmo. Let's see. Okay, so King Ramilla gets he put $10 in. He gets an entry.
Okay.
Thanks, Justin. Explode says, just hopped in the chat. Haven't seen if anybody's brought this up yet, but I read the title. Are you of the opinion that the ZR1 is going to be cross-planed? Or do you think they regress to the LT2? Well, those are both the same thing. So cross-plane crank is what the LT2 engine has. I do believe the ZR1 is going to be a modified 6.2 liter or lower displacement engine with twin turbos. It is not going to be a flat plane crank. There's just no way Chevy's going to risk that reliability.
Don't read the chat. Don't read the chat. Just
What?
don't read the chat.
What are you saying?
Just don't read the chat. Don't read what I just posted. Somebody said Amelia would have showed it. Don't read my comment.
Oh, yeah. Wow. She's going to end up with an OnlyFans account. You watch.
100%.
Shane says we got 197 thumbs ups. Guys, let's get that to 200. That's really cool. This is a good night. You guys are awesome. We're going to be doing the giveaway here in a second. Let's try to get... Well, looks like we did hit 200. You guys are amazing. Let's try to hit any last-minute Venmos for the giveaway tonight, guys.
I want that giveaway.
Yes, we did for Dana. Yeah, I said that a couple times. Jason, we did get Dana's Venmo. He's on there. If you guys are interested in the flat stoppers, now's the time. They are going to be given away tonight. We're going to do it here in a couple seconds. So, here it is again. You get 4 of them. They're typically worth about $300. It depends on how wide you need them. They go from 10 inches wide up to 16 inches wide. So if you have big old drag radials or something, you need the 16-inch wide ones that are even more expensive. But you can get either one of the 3 that you need. I just have to let Race Ramps know which one. So, last-minute donations, you can send super chats through the chat here if it's easier, or if you can't get Venmo, however you want to get entered. You get double entries if it's over $100 through Venmo, though. We got your Venmo, Justin. We got you clued in.
Who?
King Ramilla.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Luke Walker. Ouch. All right, we're starting to get a little crazy. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, let's stop the poll here. So, got 100 votes. Are you going to buy an E-Ray? 84% says no. That's the exact same percentage that I got last time I asked about this. 84 people say no, 16 say yes. So that's my thing. Is like the E-Ray is not a hot thing. Not as hot as the Z06 was, at least. So that is really weird that those are the exact same percentage numbers that I got on that one post. And there was like 2,300 people that voted, and they were 84% said no, 16% said yes. That's crazy. Oh, Stephen Rappin with the last minute donation, $50. So he gets 5 entries. Thank you, Stephen. Guys, we are about to wrap this up. So I'm going to give you guys for 2 more minutes. So 8:37 is when we're going to call it. So if you have any last minute entries you want to get in, now's the time to do it. Stephen Rapp just got in a $50 donation. Yeah, definitely awesome on the thumbs ups tonight, Matt. Thank you. Thank you everybody who clicked thumbs ups. Thanks everybody who were in here viewing this tonight. If you have any last minute donations you want to get in on these race ramps, flat stoppers, but they're made by race ramps. What do you mean, Steven? We got both your entries.
Yeah, I got both of them.
Yeah, we got both of them, Steven. You're good. Luke Walker says fire array. Yeah, like I said, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about this recently, about insurance companies not covering lithium-ion cars and whatever. It is a real problem. So this is something that if you're interested in an E-Ray, this is a conversation you should have with your insurance company. I mean, the E-Ray's it is still affected, because if you guys remember, one of the E-Rays burnt to the ground when they were testing, a year or so before they were out. The whole thing caught fire, and the problem with the car, from what GM said, was actually that it was leaking oil, and the oil is what caught fire in the rear. But then whenever the fire got towards the front, where the battery then exploded, you couldn't put it out at that point. 203 thumbs ups currently, guys. That's really awesome. We really appreciate it, and we have hit the last minute mark here. So let me just verify no extra. Yep, no more donations. So Steve, if you want to go ahead and get ready, just let me know when you're ready, and we're gonna run with the winner here.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, go ahead and run it.
Let's see. Raffle.
Oh,
Ryan, are you kidding?
Nice.
Okay.
So he just bought a new car, and he won those flat stoppers.
Wow. Look at that.
Is he still in here, Ryan? I never want to pronounce the last part because I know it's wrong.
Wow. Look you go. He'll want those.
Well, I know I do have his contact information on Instagram, so if he's not in here, I can shoot him a message. But it'd be pretty cool if you were still in here, Ryan. It'd be pretty cool.
Hey. It wasn't Matt Hurley. Look at that. Or Stephen Rapp, we used to win a lot, too.
Yeah, Stephen used to win all the time. All right, well, either way, Ryan, I'll send you a message. If you're not in here, I'll send you a message on Instagram. So to go with your new car, you got 4 new flat stock. Oh, he is in here. There he is. Congratulations, Ryan. You got the new car, and you got the new flat stoppers. How about that? That's awesome. It's going to be a good week for you. General Lee says, congratulations, Ryan. If you don't want them, you can send them to me. Why didn't Matt win? That's a good question. Fate would have it that way, I guess. All right, guys. That's going to do it for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for the thumbs ups. We will catch you guys next week. Same time, same place. We'll see you then.
Peace.